laying there, seemingly lifeless. The drool was still dripping down her mouth. And then she said, "Beth!" She sucked in that breath of life. I was on the floor. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to My Twisted Lyf TV. I am Poetry. I am here with another recap and review of This Is Us. This is season 5 and part 2 of 40. So, as you're aware, there was no episode last night due to the election. So, I just broke it down into 2 separate parts, since it actually was a part 1 and part 2 of the first premiere episode. So, man, this election, the wait, people are anticipating. We thought we was gonna wake up this morning and know who our new presidente was, but it didn't happen that way. It don't matter. That's okay. We're gonna just keep hope alive. You know what I'm saying? Si se puede. Okay, so we're gonna pick up right where we left off last week. Well, Randall makes his way up to the cabin after getting the text from Kate saying that Becca was missing. Kevin opens up the doors and he's standing there looking at Randall like, "What you doing here?" And Randall stood there looking at him like, "Oh, it's you." You know what I'm saying? But Kevin was like, "I didn't know you was coming," you know. Oh, he always come, right? Remember? He always come. This is his birthday too. Or so we thought. As we talked about in last episode, Randall was born the day before the Pearson twins, which really technically makes him not a twin. And I wonder if he's going to find that out this season, that he was actually born the day before them. And one of his concerns was like, "I'm not really a twin anyway." You know what I'm saying? It's probably not even my birthday. You're right, Randall. It's not your birthday. It's not your birthday either. But that's all right. This is still his cabin too. I was brought up in this family, and for 40 years this has been my cabin, so why wouldn't you think I would be here? I can show up when I want to. I'm surprised he knocked on the door though. He didn't come in like he normally do. Normally they get there, they just walk on in. Randall didn't walk in. He knocked on the door like he needed permission to be a part of this family. Because that's how he feeling. He feeling like an outsider right now. So anyway, they exchanged their hays and highs just out of courtesy. Kevin let him on in the door. But by the time that he shows up, the police have already located Rebecca. She's already home. She's in the bed resting. And Kate was like, "I was just about to call you right now." You know what I'm saying? To let you know. For me, you can clearly see that guilt is eating Kevin up. He was so against her going to do the clinical trial in St. Louis that he feels like he needs to explain to Randall how fine she was before all this happened. We was all around her. Everybody was keep kin, and she was good. You know, nobody knew this was going to happen. And Kevin is like, "I ain't tripping off that. I'm not chastising you. You don't need to explain anything to me. She's home. That's all that matters." You know what I'm saying? And she wasn't going to the trial anyway, Kev. You know, C-19 happened. Everything was canceled. So she wasn't going anyway. It was almost like if Kevin was like wanting or expecting an argument out of Randall. And the fact that Randall isn't arguing is alarming him. It's very telling to Kate, if nobody else. But I don't know if what she's doing, I don't know if she realizes what she's doing too. Because the fact that but the fact that she don't realize what she's doing or in her interaction with Randall, it's disturbing to me as a person. You know what I'm saying? She thanked him for coming. Why are you thanking Randall for coming? She said, "I know the last thing you want to do is have your sister calling you with an anxiety text. You know, in respect to everything that's going on in the news right now." In respect to what, Kate? It's like she's being overly cautious with Randall, like she's never done before. Never. And she don't even realize that she's doing it. All because a black man was killed on tape by the cops. Yet again. Okay. But I honestly believe that Kate doesn't realize what she's doing, but she's really being patronizing. She's being patronizing to Randall at this point. Well, we back at the hospital. William is standing there at the nursery and he's looking at his son crying the same way that he did when he was born, separated from his mother's womb. But right now he's being separated from his father too. And it seems like William senses that he knows it. So William sees the exit to the hospital. Right next to the sign is the hospital chapel. So I was like, well, which one is he going to choose? Where are you going to go? You want to go out the door? You're going to go with God, William? Which one are you going to do? Well, at the cabin, of course, Becca is like elated that Randall is there. She's like, did Beth and the girls come? He's like, nah, ma, next time. They chat for a little while, and she mentioned she had got poison ivy, but had took something from it. And at the end of the conversation, he realized that something is not right, because she again asked, did Beth and the girls come? And he was like, nah, mom, the next time, right? Then Randall was in the bathroom looking through the medicine cabinets and everything, and he saw the medicine that she said she took or possibly took earlier that day. So Randall goes downstairs, and Miguel is on the phone with the doctor, Becca's doctor. And he's like, hey, I need to talk to the doctor. And Miguel is like, no, hold on, Randall, stop. Hey, get out of my face right now. That's rude as fuck. I understand, Randall, you trying to, get your point across, but I cannot stand when people interrupt me when I'm talking on the phone. Say, excuse me, wait for hand, write a sign, something. But don't be like, hey, asking this. Hey, asking this. Now, I'm going to tell you, even though that annoys the shit out of me, I do it all the time. I apologize. I do it to my mom all the time. Anyway, Miguel is being kind of dismissive because fuck, he on the phone, you know what I'm saying? But finally he gives in when Randall was like, hey, ask about the medicine and if the medicine that she took could react with the medicine that she's taking, her prescription. And first Miguel was like, you sure she took it? He's like, yeah, she told me she took it. And then wham, bam, boom, alone. That's exactly what this doctor said caused her episode. When that allergy medicine, that particular brand name, mixes with her Alzheimer's medication, then it can cause her to have an episode that will wear off. Now, one of the things that I noticed, though, is the doctor was like, hey, you got the list, right? And Miguel's like, yeah, I got the list. So this is something that was already on the list of things, but nobody paid attention to it. At least Miguel didn't. But when she was talking to Randall, I was like, she too lucid for me. Something ain't right. She's too lucid. She's too lucid about the facts that happened throughout the entire day. She knew that she took this medicine earlier. She knew that she saw a guy that she thought was weird. She was very sure of everything that happened throughout that day. So Randall was like, this had to be something else. He picked up on it. But Randall has always been that person for Becca. He's always been the one that actually sits down and have a conversation with her. Usually when Becca is talking to the other kids, it's always about them and how she made them feel about themselves or the upbringing, or or she may be inserting her opinion about their life. Randall is the one that's usually sitting down, finding out what is really in his mother's heart and mind and how she's feeling that day. So he was more attentive to her needs, you know what I'm saying? He was able to say something ain't right here. I'm having this whole conversation with her, but then something just get thrown off, you know what I'm saying? So I misplaced my Wonder Woman cup, y'all. I'm so mad about that. Back at the cabin. No, we're back at the hospital. Jack last episode was put out the delivery room, right? So he's in the waiting room panicking, as father would be doing, the husband would be doing, and the nurse tells him that the only thing that he could do is pray, something that he hasn't done in a long time. Y'all, let me tell y'all, when he had this conversation with Big G, that was so me. That was me. For a long time in my life, I felt like God was making fun of me. Like everything that was happening in my life, he was just up there laughing, getting the kick out of how fucked up shit can get, and what was still to come. Like I even wrote a letter to my cousin. I got a stab in my eye, something that hurts. I even wrote a letter to my cousin saying the exact same things, that. Oh, so eyelash. Gotta make a wish. Saying the exact same things that Jack was saying. Then it's another one. Lose the eyelashes like a mug. I be making real wishes. It's gone. Okay. So, saying the exact same thing that Jack had said to Big G. I call my higher power Big G. Okay. So anyway, back at the cabin now. Kate is telling Kev Whatever the heck is wrong with you and Randall, you need to fix it. Okay? Because now it's rubbing off on me. I'm not sure what it is. Of course, because Kate is dealing with, I believe that she's dealing with the George Floyd situation in her heart and her mind, that she's thinking it's something racial, that it's a racial divide. Because not only, I understand y'all got beef, y'all went through some stuff, y'all had an issue, but now he's taking it out on me as if I did something. And the only thing that I could see that it could be is race, because of everything that's going on in the world, which is one reason she's trying to show Randall so much that she is there for him. Okay, so she like, look her, Kat, the world is so screwed up on the outside right now. We don't need the division here. Fix it and fix it now. So Toby had ran out to get the cake that Becca never got. And when he returns, Miguel is sitting there all in his fifi. It's like, this is not what I signed up to be. This is going to break her. You know what I'm saying? Everything has been good since we got to this cabin. It's to the point that he forgot she was sick. Toby basically tell him, look her, you don't know how long this will last or if this will be forever. But what you need to do is make every day count for her. Make her know that you don't think that every day is her last day. Make her know that you don't feel like her life is over right now. She had a bad day. She'll probably have more. But you got to keep on living one day at a time. Miguel took that to heart, right? But anywho, was it just me? They did a whole lot of shout out on TV shows. They mentioned Grey's Anatomy, One Day at a Time, and there was another show that they mentioned. If y'all can remember what was the other show that they mentioned, the other show they name dropped, drop it in the comment section and I will give you a little TV emoji. You would get a TV emoji, not a real TV, as a prize. But everybody at this point is like, oh my God, thank you, Randall, thank you for coming. Oh my goodness, thank you, great cat, so glad you came. And as if he wouldn't have came, it's his mama missing. You know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't I come? I'm not here for y'all, I'm here for her. I'm not even here for me, I'm here for her at this point. But maybe I'm just overly sensitive these days. Maybe I'm just, my toleration level towards ignorance is at an all-time low. But because that constantly saying, thank you for coming, Randall, thank you for coming, Randall, got on my nerves, y'all. It like they repeated it like 10 times. Thanks for coming. Subliminally to me, they were saying you didn't have to because she's not your real mom anyway. That's what I know, they didn't say that, but that's exactly what I kept hearing every time they said, thank you for coming, Randall. You didn't have to come. Thank you for coming, Randall. Whatever, right? Well, anyway, we go back to the hospital and Randall sits in the chapel. He had rushed past not Randall. William is sitting in the chapel. I was like, wait a minute, when did Randall go to the chapel? My brain had a brain for it. William was sitting in the chapel and he's in there asking God for forgiveness. Big G, like, listen to me, bro. It wasn't supposed to be like this. I didn't know it was going to happen that way. I did not mean to hurt her. He has been crying. The baby was crying all night. You know what I'm saying? Laura was in pain all night. She's refusing to go to the doctor and she begged William for a fix. He couldn't bear to see her in pain like that. He couldn't bear to see her in that state. And he was trying to be there for her. That's why he wasn't trying to push the go to the hospital thing on her, which he should have pushed her. He should have just took her ass in, you know what I'm saying? But he did what she asked. He couldn't help but feel guilt. He couldn't help it. It was like, it was his fault. You know what I'm saying? He got this guilt on his heart and he knew he would be no good for Randall. Just think of you thinking it's your fault, the reason why the love of your life is dead. Excuse me. Excuse me. Just thinking that you think the love of your life is dead, right? And then you have this baby who looks just like her as a constant reminder of the woman who's no longer with you, and that you, like I say, you feel responsible for her death. So he begged God for help. He begged God for to make sure that Randall was going to be taken care of, his baby was going to be taken care of, because he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it without her. He could not walk this life without her and have this baby. He made a promise to her, but he can't do it, right? So I was like, then Jack rushes into the chapel. Jack comes into the chapel. I thought that was such a beautiful Crash movie. If y'all ever seen the movie Crash, it's one of my favorite movies because of how they show how each person's life was woven into the other person's life without even knowing it. And there's a lot of movies that do that, but that one was the specific purpose of this particular movie. Crash, oh my goodness, they had a beautiful Crash moment here. Anyway, when Jack walked in, he instantly started reflecting on how his father looked. He had a thick vein in his neck as he prayed. And he was in some serious prayer, and he wondered what he prayed for. He figured that he was asking God to make him a better man. So since that's what Jack believed that he was praying for, then Jack prayed to God that it was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But it never did. Which is why Jack gave up on prayer. He's angry with God. A lot of people are. He said he's done his best to be a better man, be a better man than his father. And he tried. He tried over and over again. When he asked God, he said, did it make you laugh? Seeing me try? Woo! Knowing that deep down, in spite of everything, that I probably was going to still believe. Man, I told y'all, that was me. I was so there. Not one time in my life, not one time in my youth, but many times. And in my near past, I'm saying just a few months ago to be exact, that was me. Just questioning him, like, is this funny to you? Like, really? How many times you got to knock me down? Like, that was me. I felt Jack. I mean, I had tears. I got tears up now. Shit, it got welled up. It might be from the style, but still, it's a tear forming in my eye. I felt that shit, like in the deepest core of my body. And I always hear people say that bad times don't last always, you know what I'm saying? But I always felt I was on the opposite side of that coin. It felt like for me that anytime that I got something good happen, the moment didn't last. It was the pain, the bad luck that I felt, the downtroddenness, the void of. That's what seemed to drag on forever for me. You know what I'm saying? And like, you get that way when you're in deep depression, but more than anything, you just get that way just dealing with the cards you're dealt in life. Especially when you see people out here succeeding who, in your mind, are doing so much shit wrong in life, but it seems like they're the ones that's getting blasted. And you're trying your best to be the best you that you could be, and shit is steady knocking you to your knees. So I'm about to get, I tell you, I'm getting in my feelings about this. Like, this season, this episode, this premiere brought me to my feels. It brought me to my feels, y'all. I'm checking the time. Okay, so when he said that, Jack was like, the only good thing you ever let me have was her. So I'm down on my knees, not asking you not to take her. For the sake of my children, don't take her. Take me if you want to. Take me if you want to. And in a way, when Jack died, his prayers was answered. You know what I'm saying? All the children lived. Rebecca lived. But he made that sacrifice. He was taking. I'm just saying. Okay, so anyway, maybe I'm thinking too deeply. But I don't know why I took notice of how he prayed, though. You probably seen some jokes flying around every once in a while when we show the difference between white people and black people. And a white child can get angry and say, "Get out of my room, mom," and slam the door. If a black child say that, the door will come off. You know what I'm saying? some simple stuff like that. And I noticed that in the way that we think about, what's the word? I don't know. I guess pride, so to speak. Because we as black people were conditioned to think that we were less than. We have always had to ask permission. However, white people were conditioned to believe that they were better than. So they took what they wanted. You know what I'm saying? So when I in relation to this prayer, when both of them went in there to talk to God, Jack, he told Big G, look here, this is what I want. You need to save her. And then he dared him to go against it. He said, because if I dare you to take her from me, because if you do, all I'm saying is you better not do it. That was the way that Jack had the conversation with Big G. But William went in there asking for forgiveness and begging for help, begging for understanding, like, show me your mercy, please. You know what I'm saying? All I want you to do is just take care of my son. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of saw that's I just related that to life in all its glory, you know what I'm saying, of how black people and white people respond to the same situation. They both going in to have a conversation with God, but one is asking for something and one is demanding. One is one is begging for something, and the one is telling him what needs to happen. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, back at the cabin, everybody is getting a download on Becca's condition about how the reaction to the medication was going on, and Kevin's like, "Are you sure?" You know what I'm saying? Kate is like, "I had no idea that could happen." Kevin has always questioned Randall. Always, he questioned Randall and his motives. And Kate has always been clueless, so to speak, on what to say, what to do, or even that the answer even exists. You know. This is why she's going out there asking Randall, "Hey, what organization could I donate to now? You could just find it for yourself, sis." You know what I'm saying? But Miguel is like, "Great catch, Randall, great catch," and Randall still passes on his praise by saying, "No, back at you." But Miguel didn't catch anything. You know what I'm saying? It was you, Randall. It was you. He was trying to make everybody else still feel like they played a part when they didn't. Let's just be honest. Kevin and everyone else, they so happy Randall came home. Randall was like, "Yeah, I'm just happy she all right. That's all that matters at this time. So it's time for me to go. I've done my part." And Katie's like, "No, wait, what about our birthday?" You know what I'm saying? Toby like, "What about cake?" He's like, "Nah, Beth and the girls have already got something planned." Which is so unusual for them on their birthday, because they usually spend it together. You know what I'm saying? Like what Kay said, they always have the birthday chant. It's the big three. You know what I'm saying? Randall's like, "No, I need to be with my family." You know what I'm saying? He says bye to Miguel, elbow bump him. He say Tobias, say goodbye to him. He says sis, and then he says Kev. He don't even address him as brother, nothing, just Kev. And when he said bye, Kev's whole facial expression was like, damn. He felt that shit. If he didn't, I did. Like I said, maybe I'm thinking too deep. But Kevin felt that shit when he called him Kev instead of calling him bro. Said bye to his sis and bye Kev. You know what I'm saying? So Kate goes out after him, and she asked that he please talk with Kevin, because Kevin evidently ain't talking to him. She already asked Kevin to do it, and he ain't doing it. So I don't think that Randall really understands that Kate really don't know what happened, because she always with Kevin. Why she don't know what happened? Because when she said, though, in this I'm not taking sides, Randall felt that was a problem. You usually side with Kevin. And the fact that in one of the most egregious moments between our relationship, him wishing that I wasn't even a part of this family, you decide to stay neutral. That's a problem for me, sis. You know what I'm saying? That's a fucking kick in the head. But he was like, "Oh, okay." And started to walk away. So then she's like, "Okay, we good?" You know what I'm saying? This is, like I said, we got back onto this racial thing for me. And he's like, she said, "I've been texting you and calling you, and you basically been ghosting me." So she could have left the statement there, but she goes on to say, "I've been so worried about you because of the news, and how overwhelming that she is feeling, because she can't imagine how it feels to him." You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting here thinking, really, Kate? Really? Why now? Why now? Why is it overwhelming for you? You know, you've had a black segment of your family all your damn life. But now you're worried. Why? So when she says that I'm sorry, I have the same exact reaction as Randall. Sorry? Sorry about what? What exactly are you sorry about? Put a name on it for me. What are you apologizing for? The tone in Randall's voice, and he just sounded like, I just don't have the energy for this today. I'm all out of fucks to give. That's just how he sounded to me. He's not today or any day after, for that matter, is basically what he was sounding. What are you sorry for, sis? And she's like, well, you know, for what's going on in the country, the protests. And then Randall called it just like I said. But you never apologized before. This isn't the first time that a black man has been killed on TV by the cops. And she's like, no, it's not. But for some reason, she don't even understand why this feels different to her. Why this time it feels so different. I will say that part of that, I believe, is because of the disconnect that Randall has been presenting. I think that if Randall would have not shut down, Kate wouldn't feel the need to make him feel like she is as woke or as caring or concerned as she is. But Randall say, but it's not different for him. It's never been different from him. Y'all, I was crying through this whole conversation, through the entire conversation. I felt every morsel of his words. And although I could understand Kate's confusion, I had no sympathy for it. I really didn't. It shouldn't have taken all of this for you to feel something in this world is wrong in regards to people like me. I know you've been trying. What, you want a fucking cookie? Is that what you want? You know what I'm saying? You want me to praise you, forgive you for something that you should have been doing all along. Even if he wasn't her brother, in 40 years, not once had this conversation happened. Not once in 40 years. And this has been happening almost daily. So why now are you so sorry, sis? Kate is like, I don't know what to say. I don't want to say the wrong thing. When that tear fell from Sterling K. Brown's eye, that was real. That wasn't Randall being acted out on the screen. That was Sterling K. Brown feeling every word that came out of his mouth. That was Sterling K. Brown recalling every hashtag that has been created, every neighborhood that he couldn't drive through at night in the streets of St. Louis, not because of racist citizens, but because of racist cops. And I'm talking about white cops because of their fucking upbringing, black cops because of the system that they have been placed into or that they have taken a job into, and it's forcing them to choose between what's right and what's blue, all because he's black. Sterling K. Brown was feeling that shit. And growing up in this family, he kept so many things to himself that he didn't want to make them feel bad. I mean, because they was the good white folks, you know what I'm saying? He didn't want them to feel guilt and have worry about saying the wrong thing. And Kate, I actually appreciated her understanding. I appreciated that she realized that she's been part of the problem. And that Randall, he was like, right here is what I'm talking about. Seeing you upset. I hate seeing you upset, and I hate that when I see you upset, I feel the need to hug you. I feel the need to sugarcoat my feelings to make sure that you're okay. He said, I would hug you and I would say you did the best that you could have done and make sure that you were fine for whatever. But if I did that, then where does that leave me? That reminded me of that poem or that movie, Who Cried for the Little Boy? I love the poem too that was said in it. Oh my goodness. I wish I had it on my computer, but I don't have it on my computer right now. Randall was crying, Kate was crying, and I had tears everywhere, y'all. I mean, he said a mouthful, and I felt that. And I think, run out of time, give me a second. I think that white people watching this show, if y'all didn't feel that, if y'all didn't understand what he was saying, then he talking to you. If you were one of those white people that was on that Facebook page that was dogging Randall about how he spoke to Kate in this moment, you know what I'm saying? All he did was speak truth to light, sweetheart. That's all he did. He didn't raise his voice, but all they saw was an angry black man taking out his aggression on a poor little self-esteem having kid. That's all them comments were saying. How dare he? How very fucking dare you? You know, that's what I'm saying. Fuck you and your feelings. Fuck you and your feelings. Again, no explanation is being given from over this way anymore. Like, He gave one to Kate just out of respect for his love for his sister. But that in itself, that was exhausting. Just to have the need to say it. I've been with you 40 years of our lives. This has happened on countless occasions. And the fact that I gotta stand here at age 40 and explain this to you, explain how this makes me feel as a person, that's exhausting. And like when I was talking about this last week, I noticed I didn't get a lot of my normal white viewers comment on this. But I was talking about this last week when I said that I was done explaining. If you don't want to know, it's because you don't want to know. Because using Randall as an example, I know he's a character on this show, but art imitates life. Randall, as a young child, knew these things was happening. Like I said, that they try to keep it out the household, keep it away from him. But as he got older, he was able to see it take place more and more and more on TV, right? And he had to digest those feelings, the understanding of who he was as a black person, as a young black boy, that this could be him. He had to digest it all himself as a child. And you mean to tell me here at age 40, 50, 60, 70, as a white person, I still gotta explain shit to you, and this fucking 10-year-old figured that shit out back in the day, and it wasn't happening to him directly? He was watching it the same way you were, but for some reason your education level was so elementary that you can't comprehend. Fuck what you heard. No, you're a lie and the truth ain't in you. It's a lie and the truth ain't in you. You trying to get what Randall didn't want Kate to do. You trying to make us feel sorry that you or don't know. I just don't know. I didn't never say no. Fuck that. You know. You ain't that stupid. You ain't that stupid. No explanations will be given outside of this video. That's it. Okay. So back at the hospital, Jack decides to address his past and call up his dad. And man was such a hard ass. Oh. And it's been a while, and he couldn't even say, it's good to hear from you, son, start off the call. Happy birthday, son, start off the call. But Jack was like, when you was in church back in the day, what were you praying for? And I'm thinking that Jack asked that question because since Jack was praying that for whatever he was praying for to happen, maybe that's the reason that the prayers didn't work. Because maybe he wasn't praying to be a better man at all. You know what I'm saying? But he was like, what, you need money or something? Like, what, need money again? Jack like, no, you know what, forget it. I called. You know what I'm saying? He's like, no. What I prayed for was that my kids would come out better than I did. And Jack says, I'm trying, Dad. I'm trying, Pop. And so he did finally remember to wish him happy birthday in the end, you know what I'm saying? But damn, I would like for my parent to call me up. I'd be mad as hell when it's my birthday and my mama don't be like, hey, happy birthday, Poetry. Happy birthday, Nanny. I'd be mad as hell. She texted me one year, like, I think it was like 3 days later, like, oh, happy birthday. I was like, the fuck? And I was mad. I was super mad. You know what I'm saying? You gave birth to me on that day and you can't remember my birthday? What the fuck? That's a holiday for me. That's a holiday. January, my daughter's birthday, y'all know her birthday. Yeah, January 3rd. Y'all know her birthday. That's a holiday for me. I was in labor, bringing life into this world. I will remember that day. As long as Big G gives me mental clarity, I'm going to remember that day. But anyway, y'all notice that Jack didn't even mention to his daddy that he was becoming a father that day? Didn't even bring it up. Remember, I want to say season 2, when Becca went to his dying bedside and he didn't realize that he had grandkids and a wife and all that other stuff? Yeah. Well, the doc comes out, we get this silent scene where the doc comes out and lets Jack know the status of Becca. Remember all that happened in season 1, that Becca's okay, that they lost one of the baby, and you got a blessing right here. Then they saw Jack go to the nursery, and then the fire guy had just showed up had been there, and there's a blessing right there waiting for you to go home. And he convinces Becca that this is our chance. This is our do-over right here. So as Randall was leaving back at the cabin, Kevin runs up and thanks him again. It's eating him up on the inside that Randall was the savior of the moment, I think. But he was trying to humble himself in the moment without really saying, I'm sorry for what I said. He told him that, Madison's about to have twins, one boy, one girl. Randall got a little happy for a moment, and a quick smile. Then he even offered him some sound advice on how to raise a daughter. But when he mentioned that he now thinks in the strangest way that Maddie could be the one, that he finally found her, Randall was taken back a bit. It was almost like, really, Kev? You just now realizing y'all about to have a baby, and now you think she the one? You've been performing this whole time. Randall told him that whenever he decided to care about somebody, he's going to be putting on a performance. And now they've been putting on this performance I don't know how many months, because she got a full belly now. And now you realizing that she may be the one. But Randall was like, you know what? This bonding moment is over. I'm falling back into that same role of encouraging bullshit. And it's exhausting. So, back in the day, William is on the bus. Flood of memories is meeting when he met Laurel had just came over him. He couldn't get off the bus, but he needed to keep going. And then Randall, he needed to keep going as well. He had to move away from the way things were, who he was presenting himself to be. So Randall ended his relationship with Dr. Lee. He was going to seek out a black therapist. I felt convicted. Like, maybe I need to do the same thing too, Maybe that's why I can't fully heal, because I really don't have somebody that I can fully 100% connect with. And it's no disrespect to my therapist or no disrespect to Dr. Lee, but I can't fully heal if I can't be 100% honest with you. But Randall, he said he needs something different. That's what he told her. And basically he needs to feel connected to a part of who he is. So the Pearsons, they go on and continue the festivities without Randall, like he wasn't even there, I'm saying? And I think this season we are going to see a lot more disconnect from the Pearsons from Randall, as Randall starts to connect more with who he is as a black man, who he is as William and Laurel's child. So Toby comes in to Kate with some news, you know what I'm saying? And she's all in her head about the conversation with Randall. And Toby's like, hey, well, what can I do? He's trying to fix it. He's trying to comfort her. She's like, no. I need to sit with these feelings. That's what I told y'all last week. Sit with those motherfucking feelings. I was really proud of Kate in this moment. However, I wonder if this will allow Kate to open up the conversation with the rest of the family. Because we get a lot of allies, I believe, who wake up, for lack of a better term. Yet the conversations that they want to have, the conversation they want to bring to the table, are with us. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying us as a collective, with black people, and not with the people who are contributing to the problem. Sitting down with others who are like them, who had once been closed-mouthed, and found out why they were so closed-mouthed, and what can they do to be a part of the solution. That's why I'm not having these conversations no more. You're talking to the wrong person. I'm not the one you need to talk to. Check your people. But I do wonder if that's what Kate is going to do with this newfound feelings and this newfound understanding that she has. Toby's like, we're going to get it right with raising our children. A lot of people think that too. We just gonna raise our children right. You and your children are not isolated from the rest of society. When your cousin makes says the N-word around you, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna say? Just gonna let it slide? He didn't mean it that way. That wasn't his intent. When somebody's laughing and joking and having scuttlebutt around the water, fountain at the job, and they make an off-color comment about somebody being, you think is gay or what have you. What are you going to say? What are you going to do? You're going to keep quiet? It's not your place, not your business. You're going to make sure you raise your child right. No, at some point, you need to start addressing the people who are involved in the action, and not just saying, you know what, I'm not gonna worry about that right now, I'm just gonna make sure I take care of mine. You know, at some point, because that's what we as people have been doing. That's what these protests are all about. You know what I'm saying? That's what all these demands and all this, you know, our chanting, that's what it's all been about. Making everybody else feel like they should be just as accountable as well. Okay. Tangent. So anyway, but he kept repeating, you know, we're going to raise our children this way. And she's like, okay, yeah, you know. He's like, you know, the plural of child. And Kate's like, what am I missing? What's going on? Girl, yes, you are missing the fact that the adoption agency called at least 6 times. And we getting the baby. So Kevin is getting his new family with Madison, and the two twins are coming. Kate, she's adding to her family, so she's gonna have her little boy and her little girl. And I think that they were getting a Latino girl. The mama name was Belle. I remember that mama name was Belle. She was 33. And Randall is separating himself from the family that he had all his life and spending his time with the family that he created. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all that really matters to him right now. He tells Beth, I'm not having a breakdown. I'm healthier than I ever been in years, but what I am is extremely sad. He said, I'm not falling apart. I'm just really, really sad right now. And I think generally that most people don't get that. They don't understand what it means to be sad. Anytime somebody is this level of sad, you got to have a mental health issue. You got to have a mental health problem. Mainly because you're not acting as they think that they would have acted. So you must be having a mental issue. The idea that you're just saddened by life and all the atrocities that happen, it seems like an unlikely concept. And I say that a lot about suicide victims too. I don't think that you necessarily have to have a mental health condition to make that choice to take your own life. Some people are just so saddened that they don't feel like they need to be here anymore, and that's what's best for them and or their family. So they make that choice for themselves to stop that pain. That doesn't make you crazy, doesn't make you bipolar. They don't mean that they have any type of mental health issue. Sometimes that it's just sadness. It's just sadness. And I know I may be the minority who thinks that way, but it just is what it is to me. Because sometimes, like when I go to therapy and the doctor be like, okay, so how you feeling today? And we talk about the different things. And they was like, well, when I did your chart, because they always ask you these certain questions and to see if your anxiety is high or your depression is high or your, you know, whatever is high or low. And they ask all these questions and that be normal. But she be like, well, so what's this melancholiness about? It's just sometimes I'm just sad about life. Sometimes the outside world can just affect my state of being. I'm just sad. Doesn't necessarily mean that I'm triggered at this point. But, you know, it happens. So the Beth came with the wisdom, right? She was like, you know, she was saying something that her father had told her, that sometimes it's the tragedies that define our lives. And Randall, you were born out of tragedy, you know what I'm saying? Multiple tragedies to be exact. But look what you have become. Look what you have accomplished. It's right here in front of you. You're still here. We are here together and we're going to fight. We're going to continue to fight. This pain is not forever. This moment in time is not forever. Nothing is forever except us. I was like, you better come on. We fight on. You see it? Do you see it, Randall? He's like, yeah, I see it. We fight on. You know what I'm saying? I was like, Beth for president. Beth for president. She was like, you know, okay, be honest with me, bro. You was not expecting some big surprise or something like that. Randall's like, nope. All I need is in this room right now. I think this is a year that we can have. He said, I think we could use a year with no surprises. Then we go back to them EMTs, baby, with Laurel. Just seconds after young William ran out of the doggone house after they tried to call her time of death, the young EMT got a pulse. He said, wait. They zoomed in on Laurel's body, laying there seemingly lifeless, the drool still dripping down her mouth. And then she said, bah! She sucked in that breath of life. I was on the floor. I was on the floor. Laurel did not die in that moment. The guilt William has been carrying around with him that he killed Laurel, and she survived in that moment. Whether she's still alive right now is to be left up to question. We're going to see what the writer's going to do with this. But if she's still alive, why didn't nobody tell William that she was still alive? Because he still lived in that same building. When Randall found him, where was the same building, if I'm not mistaken? They still lived in that same building. When she woke up and she realized that they were gone, did she not cry out for them? Did she not want to find them herself? I know she said that she couldn't be the better mother or be the mama for him like she wanted to be. I need you to take care of her. But really, nothing. I got mad. I got mad at that point, y'all. I got mad because if she's still alive and then try to find them. Well, Randall, you said you didn't want no more surprises. This is going to be the year you can use those more surprises. Surprise! I'm telling you. If his mom's still alive, baby, surprise, surprise. That's it, y'all. This is Us 40, part 2. We come back next week, next Tuesday, with the second episode of the season. This year look like it's going to be something else. It's going to be something else. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for being here. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel if you had not already done so. Peace.